We are live. We're here with the Underdog Research Channel. Folks, you know why we're here. We all told you we're going to do it, but you didn't believe it, so we showed up. Now we're about to show out. Now, folks, today we have a great video collaboration that has never been done. You check my facts on this. Search. No one has done a collaboration on SWFT and Metapath, and you have had no one bring powerhouses that are here today. So let me introduce these individuals. To my right, you have Ruel Crypto, Black Rue Investing. He goes by many names, folks, but he has the same game. He tells you how to guide yourself through stocks, crypto, investing, and he goes deep, folks. And we're going to hear from him in just a second. But we're not alone. I told you, and he told you he's coming. He's a legend. Shook Focus Digital. You've seen him before. He's in the metaverse. He's into gaming. He's into crypto. He has all types of information for you, and he has a model for you, but I'm not going to say it. He'll say it himself. And folks, I can't sit here and have a party without the one, the only. And if you haven't heard him, you will. We call him Indigo Saint, but you know him as the third eye. He is both, folks, a mathematician, an artist, and someone that you're going to find out about today who talks about not only research and technology, but the personal aspects of how this can be impactful in your life. Now, folks, I'm Underdog Research, and this is the Underdog Research Channel. Tune in because we're not done. We're going to start this part one series, a group collaboration about that Project SWFT. If y'all ready, we're ready. Let's get started. Gentlemen, how you doing today?
Golden.
Doing good, feeling great. Feeling good,
yes,
feeling
sir.
Great.
Fantastic.
This hasn't been done before. Introduce yourselves.
Well, hey guys, Black Rue Investing, also known as the Crypto Rue podcast. Been in this crypto game for at least like 2 bull runs now, and really trying to take advantage of this bull run, and really excited to be here with these 3 gentlemen. Thanks for having me.
It's Shooks, representing Shook Focus. I also stumbled into crypto about 4-5-ish years ago now, and been having a fantastic time, a wonderful journey, sharing that with everybody and providing what I hope is a unique perspective.
Yes, your boy is Indigo Saint, hip-hop artist, crypto enthusiast, all around lover of life, man. I'm so excited to be here. Different time zone, different country, but still, same purpose, same goal. So driven, so excited about this crypto run that we're having right now, and not even just about it right now, but just about like the entire journey, right from some of you, I know some of you have been here since 2017, maybe a little before that. So it's been a great journey, and there's so much to talk about today, and I think it's going to be amazing.
Absolutely. So, folks, that is the guest today. We have Black Rue Investing. He has a podcast and a show. He has several shows, folks. He's everywhere. We got Shook Focus Digital. We got the Third Eye, Indigo Saint, and Underdog Researcher. So let's get started, folks. So we have been talking about since January a project called SWFT. Now, I'm going to give a quick overview. It's going to last probably about 10 seconds. It's a multi-cross-border platform allowing you to take cryptocurrencies of different blockchains and transfer value, those assets, into one place. Now, folks, the way I like to look at stuff, I like to break it down and make it easy for someone who might have never heard about it and don't really understand why. So just imagine, folks, if you have a universal key, and that key can open up several doors in your house. They call that a master key. Now, that master key has more utility than a key that can only open up one door. The problem with technology in the blockchain area is that they all have their own silos. If I have Ethereum and I'm trying to send Ethereum and I send it to the wrong cryptocurrency blockchain, you'll lose your money, you'll lose your assets. They don't talk to each other. We understand this, folks. iPhone doesn't talk to Android. Android don't talk to iPhone. This is basic stuff that we all understand. So when you apply this knowledge to the cryptocurrency space, we got to understand that we have to find something more universal. Now, why does it matter to you? Well, we're in a space where if you didn't get in Bitcoin back when Bitcoin started, you're a little bit late to the party. In fact, you're a lot late to the party. I don't know about you, but I don't often have almost $70,000 of excess money that I can put on one token. Most of us are working from a place where we're living paycheck to paycheck, hand to mouth, and we're just trying to make it. And so when we look at these blockchain projects, we want to be investors too. We want to invest in technology, but what do you invest in? Well, this is our group mentality. We like to look for projects that have a low cost of entry and also a low market cap. Now, the problem with looking for these projects that have a low cost of entry and low market cap, there's thousands of projects that have a low cost of entry and low market cap. So what do? Well, honestly, folks, none of us own these projects like stock. We are investing in the speculation that based on the research that we provide, that we can get into a project early enough that that project catches on, is utilized, has utility, and is long-term adopted, and we can bring the value of that project and we'll ride along with it with the financial gains. That's what we're all doing. Now, in short, we buy low, we sell high. Now, let's talk about this project. Swift coin, Swift blockchain are two different things. I want you to imagine your house. You bought a house, you know your residence is that address. But it'll be silly to say that your house only has one room. You have multiple rooms and they have different functions. One is for the kitchen, one is for the lounge, one is your bedroom, one is your bathroom. So Swift coin is the utility token, is what makes it all function. It's like the doors that open up many doors. Are you following me? So now that we gave an overview of Swift, the project technology, what it does is utility. It will allow any company, any bank, any individual to send their currency, crypto, or something we call fiat, that's money, folks, another fancy way of saying money, to another place, another person, and they can receive it for low fees. In fact, the fees are insignificantly small. But if millions of dollars are being transferred back and forth on and off of a network, then you, as a holder of that, get the profitability of it because you're a part of that network because you own small bits of those tokens. And as people use it more, it causes the price to rise. That's my summary of it. So now let's talk about this project. What I found in my last research about this project is that this project started off as a regular research project about a token that I saw a low market cap and also a low cost of entry. Because that's the people I'm called to serve. That's the type of projects I look at. I will never look at something at $50,000 because I think about my little grandmother. If my grandmama can't own it, then I'm not going to research it. That makes someone else who's already wealthy, wealthier. So, but when I started doing this research, I started to discover a few things. One, I saw a connection, and that connection was with billionaires investing in the project. Now I want to turn it over to W.A.R Investing, because W.A.R Investing, at the time that I was researching just the utility, he was already talking about a connection that he saw with. Tell him what you saw, W.A.R.
I saw a connection with a American billionaire, which actually little people know about, but he's like huge. His name is Tim Draper. Okay. And he was an initial investor in Baidu, Hotmail, Robinhood, Coinbase, Tesla, SpaceX. Now, like I've heard of, Kathy Wood. I've heard of like Michael Saylor. You would think an initial investor in Coinbase and Tesla, like Tim Draper, would be just as known as those guys, but he's not. So then I just followed a lot of where his money was, and it was amazing to see that he was invested in over like 50 different crypto companies, including Ledger, including Casper Labs, including Ethereum, Polygon, like the list goes on. I could just keep naming all day long, right? But to see someone with that much reach, right, invested in Swift really made me interested, especially when you factor in the cross chain and the cross border stuff. Okay. One of the things that are really big to note is that Draper has a big reach in China. Okay. And his Draper Dragons VC farm is in China, which is where most of Swift's stuff happens. But when you factor in all of his American crypto companies too, you really need a conduit. You need a central place to be able to trade all these different things and move all this different money around. And that's where Swift comes in. So now he can move money with Casper, with Casper Labs, which he's also invested in, which is they're mostly based in India, but their reach is far bigger than that. You've seen them at World Economic Forum meetings and all of that. He's an initial investor in that. Initial investor in Ethereum, initial investor in Polygon. But also, if you factor in the Chinese part, initial investor in VeChain, in IoTex, in Oasis Labs, in Thundercore. All of these things need one conduit to be able to send all those monies, right? Because one platform is separate from the other, and that's where Swift comes in. It's like that really cemented everything for me. It's like, okay, now Swift is almost his personal bank, where he can just switch everything to every different blockchain that he has ownership in. And if you factor in that he's a initial investor in Coinbase, and you look at all the different cryptos Coinbase Ventures is invested in, who knows? Like maybe all of those cryptos are his too, right? And if you look at Swift's website, you will see that those guys have like, it's a long list of different cryptocurrencies that they can use and different blockchain platforms that they can use, including Tron, BCH, which makes sense because that area of the world, right? But also XRP. It doesn't stay Stellar, but we've made that connection before, right? Definitely check out Underdog's videos on that. So Stellar, XRP, XDC, and like we mentioned, Tron and BCH, Hecko, Huobi. So really, if you will, it almost connects BRICS nations cryptos to American/European cryptos, right? So it's a one-stop shop, if you will, and we went over that with Should Focus's videos. It's a one-stop shop for sending any type of crypto that you want, right? So that's what I really liked about it. And when Underdog brought in the Metapath angle, that was really big for me. And I think we have someone else talking about Metapath here.
Go ahead, Shook Focus Digital, the gaming extraordinary, crypto, all things technology. Let's talk about Metapath. Why does that even matter? Why should people even care about a connection between Swift and Metapath? Your volume, sir.
There we go. So my goodness, that is I can't really put in words how important that connection is. So Metapath's target is to be the infrastructure of the metaverse, right? That's what Metapath would like to be known as, the infrastructure of the metaverse. And so when you're talking metaverse, they're reaching into the NFT market and digital land. And right now we're talking about metaverse swaps and transactions from metaverse assets. And then you have Swift coin when we're talking about, financial assets. So now they are creating their own economy. You want to talk about the news that XRP just had with thinking about creating their own stable coin, right? Keeping some of that liquidity. Swift and Metapath is going to be holding a level of their own little monopolized economy that I think we are going to find out is probably untouched. The other really unique thing about Swift and Metapath, for one moment here, let me show you something I was reading here. Can everybody see that?
I don't think it's going to show up unless let me see if I can add it to the screen. There we go.
So this is something that's real unique. So this is 11 months ago, and just to look at it, you're talking about zero gas swap service, right? Ethereum is still going through upgrades to try to kill gas. Ethereum is still going through upgrades to try to deal with gas fees, and here you are, Swift was so far ahead of the game, right? So many things we find out with this project. It was ahead of the game in AI, right? They're ahead of the game in gas, right? The solution is as simple as just deducting more of what they're trading. Who would have thought, right? So Swift was so far ahead on this that it's just crazy. And when you start looking at the connections that they have going for the metaverse, a lot of these NFT projects that are being built, Swift is just making connections on both sides of this for the finance and the digital asset space that I have not seen before.
Let me tell you, Shook Focus just robbed me yet again. At first it was Black Roo, now it's Shook Focus. My next video, I was going to go through the Metapath piece, but Shook Focus just released it. Zero swap fees. It actually tells you how to go about getting those zero swap fees. And then there's some secrets about how to swap when you're in MetaMask as well. So if people are thinking about off-ramps, look, and you're in Coinbase, it's connected to the Coinbase wallet too. So folks, I'm not going to release it yet, but that is huge. Now, before we go into that piece, I want to bring for the very first time in the live, the third eye, Indigo Saint. Now, folks, just so you know, if you listen to my channel, Black Rouge channel, and many content creators online right now, and you search Indigo Saint, you will find him. Google him. Indigo Saint is a recognized musician, and his music has impacted all over the world. Now, Indigo Saint is multiple things, but he brought something to this project. He recently launched this new channel called The Third Eye. Now, what is The Third Eye, and what is it different than our three platforms? Well, Indigo Saint talks about the impact. Now, folks, we have hubris sometimes. I hate to admit it, but sometimes we have hubris and we can only think about how things impact us and our economy and our ecosystem, and we don't think about how these technologies can affect others where they live and how each of these investments work. Well, Indigo Saint not only is a user of the technology and integrates it, but he has also talked about the impact and how he sees it. Now, he's going to bring you a conversation, but he's also going to talk about something that he brought up in his video called the Everyday Hero Manifesto. Indigo Saint, The Third Eye, tell us what you want to talk about.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so I think maybe just as a start, just to say it's important, I think, to look at these projects and to look at them from a point or perspective of utility. So thinking about, well, first of all, how can these technologies be used? You know, how are these technologies going to be used? So when you think of just like talking about Metapath for example, with the NFTs and cross-chain, cross-platform NFTs, right? Being able to swap something from Ethereum to Binance, for example. In the past, we've made NFTs on the platform was called Phantom, I believe, a while back. And with those NFTs, I mean, like those were on a specific blockchain. But then there are people who could have purchased that, right? Who could have purchased those NFTs, but who were on or who had crypto in different currencies, you know, different cryptos. So just like thinking about the utility, thinking about like, well, how do you swap? How do you reduce fees? You know, why is it important for that? And I think the more these technologies, the more these companies come out and actually find solutions. I think the ones who find solutions first are the ones who are going to go further, and being able to be the ones who identify those things earlier, like as Black Drew was saying, where you start thinking about, well, who are the people who are investing in these things? Who are the people who have vested interests in them, and why do they have vested interests in them? Just being able to identify those things. All of this, when you look at it, at the end of the day, it's always going to come back and come down to utility. So that was the thing that I found the most interesting with the project with Swift itself. On the podcast on the Third Eye, we've been reading the Everyday Hero Manifesto, which is a book by Robin Sharma. And it's just something that keeps me going, and I just thought I'd share something, if that's okay, from the book. So this is from the 3rd chapter, because the Third Eye, and the debut today, so just making that connection. And it says, he says, and so I respectfully suggest that you make your start today. Develop the guts to play out on the edges of your powers, because as you visit your limits, those limits will expand. Activate the childlike part of you that was once wildly curious and constantly learning before you were schooled to play small and trained to think like everyone else, so that you continually outgrow the person you currently are. Gauge your winning by the extent of your progress and never by the objects in your closets. Lead without a title, influence without a position, and create the masterwork that exemplifies the promise that nature has invested in you. And remember that the easiest path is generally the poorest route, and that action delayed is greatness betrayed. I find that really powerful, because just thinking of the project in itself, they are coming up with solutions for some of the most difficult things in the blockchain space right now. So many people, there's so many people who are, we as Underdog said, we can't play the Bitcoin game right now, because that's past. Some of us can't play the Ethereum game, because that's past. Binance as well, that's far gone. But then there's a project right now that's finding a solution and finding a way in which all of these blockchains can communicate with each other, and that actually presents us with a gap, because it's still very early on. So from my end, that's something that I thought I'd share with you guys.
Powerful words, folks. That was a summary, and that's as slow as going to get, because we're about to get heated up, folks. See, this is not going to be one of those just conservative conversations, folks. We're about to get heated up. I wanted to bring a overview, because there's going to be someone who watches this for the very first time, and we can't always assume that they've already been watching our channels or they know about the project. So this is the introduction. So if you're watching this right now for the very first time, this is the number one, but we're not done. We're going to be going live. We're going to keep this going, and we're going to go next to Black.Ru Investing, and then we're going to go to Shook Focus Digital. And then I'm going to bring you right back, and we're going to go with the Third Eye, and we're going to do it all within an hour, folks. So tune in, because we're about to wrap this up and go into part 2 of this conversation. You want to get the cohesiveness, because we're about to go deep and talk about different aspects. But as we close out part 1, the introduction to Swift and Metapath and the impact, I want to talk about something that the Third Eye just said. And I think it's the most important thing. I don't know what your religious background is, and I'll never ask. And I don't know where you draw your power, but I come from a place where I thank the Lord above each day that I wake up. And I come from a place that I know that all blessings come from him. Now, my intent, my heart is always to get myself in a position that I can help someone else out. Now, we are going to give this research, and I want you to understand something about what we're doing. None of us here are saying that this project will go to the moon. Nobody is. And none of us here are going to say this project is going to go dead tomorrow, because we don't know. We often confuse research with shilling and FUD. It's binary, folks. And I want you to understand that the intent of each of us from our hearts and our minds is simply to provide you information. I want you to understand where we're at now. The person who brings me up each morning has put a gift in me to allow me to use this thing called my mind, just like these gentlemen here. And we are using this thing and simply giving you knowledge. Now, when it gets to a point where knowledge itself is a weapon, we're in a bad place. See, because each of us could just simply keep it to ourselves. We don't have to give you this information, but we dedicate something that we'll never get back, and that's our time and our resources and our efforts to get you the most accurate, up-to-date information that we're aware of. And I want you to take that information and I want you to consider it as you on your own look into this project. Because again, at the end of the day, you're here for similar reasons. You want to make a life-changing decision that can change your life. And that's what we're going to do. Some of you may have family, friends, elderly parents. Some of you may only have $10. The thing I like about this current project that we're looking at is right now, it's less than a sixth of a penny. It's 60% of a penny. So I don't have a penny on me, but if you could hold a penny in your hand, we're talking about one of these tokens is less than a half of that. The cost of entry is low, but if everything goes as it should go and no one does anything funny on the higher ups, the bigger people who actually have control, then this might be the most valuable penny that you can own because it will become multiple pennies and those multiple pennies turn into dollars. And that's what we do here. We flip pennies and turn small things into big things. And that doesn't mean that we are going to be right. We're not trying to be right. We are simply giving you research. Everything that we say, I encourage the followers to go and check. We put videos, pictures, images, dates, and articles. We call it open source intelligence, folks. Now, it's as good as the quality of information that is known. We cannot tell you what they say behind closed doors that we're not privy to. So keep that in mind, that research is only as accurate as the information available for public consumption. All right. With that being said, folks, thank you for coming to part one. We're about to shut this stream down, but we're not done. Don't go nowhere. Go get yourself some snacks and you will see another post and it'll be us again. And we're going to go into different aspects and going to loosen up a little bit. And the next channel is going to be Black.R Investing, also the Crypto.R podcast, and then Shook Focus Digital and Indigo Saint, the Third Eye. Thanks for watching, folks. Until next time, this has been the Underdog Research Channel. Peace.